We're on.
We are, I think.
Streaming. We're doing
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the stream.
We are here. We are here on the 20. Let me just see, turn that off. Yeah, okay. Otherwise it will zoom in. Yeah, this is April 2022. Good Lord, streaming. We're getting to the finale actually of this season.
Yeah, we are.
Finale, the grand finale, the grandos finalios.
Don't make any promises we can't keep. It's going to be real big. Is it?
Huge. Yeah. Well, but that's next month. We're talking about this month, and this month we're celebrating Independent Bookstore Day.
Woo!
Yeah. Now this happens in America most of the time, and we are the American Book Center, so damn, we're going to join in. This year it was Saturday, the April the 30th, which is for us tomorrow, but who knows when you're watching this.
Yeah.
It's to celebrate being independent booksellers, which we is. Big. Yes. Now, the American Book Center, we love being independent, and we've been independent since 1972. We just last month, if you've been following us, been celebrating our 50 years of being around and serving.
Real old.
Yeah. And that will carry on, actually. So keep watching the abc.nl website for more 50-year anniversary stuffs to come.
Yeah.
But this month we're doing Independent Bookstore Day. We might have a few people who may join us later on. We'll see if they turn up or not. But in between that, we're going to talk about being independent. We're going to talk about a few books that you've got down there, and we're going to talk about what's going to be happening in the next month from the American Book Center. So
lots of stuff.
Start off with a book review, maybe?
Oh, do we want to immediately kick it off with a book?
Well, I was just throw you straight in, deep end.
Okay, I'm ready. Oh man, which one do I pick? I have so many books here, Lou.
Just close your eyes and take one out and go, oh yeah, this one.
I'll just take the top one from the stack. Here's a book.
A book. The Circus Infinite. Circus
Infinite. Oh, it's really glary. Ooh, because it's so shiny.
Shiny and new.
It's a sci-fi book.
Right.
It's quite new, I think. Hang on, let me check.
Circus.
Oh, it just says 2022. It doesn't say a month or anything. It's a real new book. It's a science fiction book set in like this sort of intergalactic situation where there's lots of different alien species and also humans, and also sort of, I think they're called hybrids in the book, people that have like different heritages. And it's about this guy who has powers. It's quite complicated. There's lots of different species and they have different abilities is a better word. Okay. And it's about this person who has certain abilities that are sort of outside the norm. Like he's unique because they've never like seen anything like it. And so as a kid, he's been studied, and that wasn't really not a pleasant experience. And then, they escaped and went to this circus, the Circus Infinite. And it's this really, it's very serious, and some serious stuff and like gritty stuff happens, but it's also this like wholesome community of like artists and like theater people basically, and they're making a show, and it's just it's really good
on an intergalactic superstar-y level.
I mean, yes, but it's all set on this one moon.
It's set on the moon.
Yes, not the moon, a moon.
Oh, a moon, not our moon. Okay. No. I'm going to share the screen and show people what it looks like on our website here. So for 20 euros. So it's not a paperback, it's a trade paperback, no? Or it's a big paperback?
Yeah, it's a big
and
size.
It came out in March. So it's very
real recent.
Yeah. So you can check that out. Okay. Sounds intriguing. Sort of like I'm thinking of it. It's an oddity story, but set a bit science fiction-y and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it has fantasy elements as well, because there's like people who have powers. Like these magical powers. So yeah, it's a bit of both.
Okay.
It's really good.
Check it out if you like that sort of science fiction-y.
Yeah, and it's very modern science fiction in that it's very concerned with like sort of people's individuality and like different lifestyles and different sexualities and different pronouns and all that. It's very very current in that sense.
The minute. Well, the idea of it being a circus, and that there's also the overtones, of course, the suggestion, that you're different, but you're maybe a freak, or you have something that's really amazing and great. But
I mean, it definitely plays into that. Yeah.
You can feel it coming. But see a new take on that.
And I think it's a debut as well by this author. I should probably say the author's name. The author is Con Wong.
Con Wong, yeah. I've never heard of him before, so
so I'm pretty sure it's a debut.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. A book talks kind of thing, almost, actually.
Yeah.
The kind of interesting. Seeing which way these trends go.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, check that out. Okay. Well, Independent Bookstore Day. What does that mean to you?
What does that mean to me? I really like the idea of celebrating independent bookstores. I know that, ABC we have this like stubbornly independent like line.
That's a good one. ABC, stubbornly.
And I think it's very true. It's very appropriate for the people that work at ABC.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the character of it.
Exactly.
Just before we were talking about what's the difference between an independent and a chain store. Well, the many differences, I suppose. We're all selling books, but one is the character that you get, the many different characters, just like the book you were talking about, the wondrous characters that you have of the different, any independently owned and driven bookstore. I would like to make a bet that probably the owners of any of these stores are slightly mad and weird.
I think you have to be.
I think so, but also absolutely in love with books. That's a pre, and as Lynn is the owner of the ABC, and one main thing I think is that we, and I think most of the independent bookstores are the sellers are also the buyers, and so we're on the floor and we get the feedback from the folk and what we sell.
You should probably explain what you mean when you say we are also the buyers, because I feel like whenever we throw that term around, people think that we like buy our own books, as in we do, because I have a whole stack of them right here. But I think you should explain maybe a little bit.
Well, we're allowed to buy it. Let's put it that way. We're not using our own money, but is it not understood? No, maybe not.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I think that maybe if I describe it in terms of what happens in these in these chain store companies, it's usually somebody who's off the floor who's deciding, oh, we've sold this many books, so we're going to buy this many more books in, and we've had a discussion with the author or with the publishing company, so this is going to be a big seller, so we'll have plenty of those and we'll spread them around the whole country. And the buyer would be somebody who's buying from many different shops. That makes it very nice that you can have that spread around across the whole country, and that whole system is much larger. But when you're an independent bookstore, you're dealing with one or two shops. In fact, we're a good example of two shops, same company, but as you said, the Den Haag shop, the Hague shop has a very different sort of clientele and sell different books in different ways than the American Book Center in Amsterdam. And I think a lot more political books, because of course you're situated right next door to the heart of the political system.
Yes.
It's that buying books means that I, for example, have the film section and the Holland section, or the Netherlands section as it's now called. And
is it?
Yes.
I don't think it is in The Hague.
Oh, yes. It was decided actually by the Hof itself that the Netherlands was the official labeling of how Holland should be called. So we now called the Holland section, the Netherlands section. So. So I buy in books for those sections, and that means actually looking up all the new releases that are coming out for film books, as well as checking out what I've sold in the last months, and then putting those on a list and having those ordered. And that, of course, goes off.
You only have 2 sections.
Yeah.
Wow.
Easier. I'm helping out on the travel section as well, but I'm also the events team as well. So I'm not just doing online.
I have like 6.
6,
I think.
But you work full time, I think.
I do not. And I mean, they're all small sections, but damn.
6 small sections. Well, adds up to.
I have horror, which is like 1 case. I have social science. I have poetry. I have New Age. I have mythology, religion. I think that's it. I always feel like I'm forgetting something.
Right. You see, so many. But this is another thing. It's like we're all spinning plates as well. I feel that that part of an independent bookstore is that you're always taking on things and filling in when other people aren't there. And doing things. And of course, over the years, it moves around as well. I used to do games. I used to do humor. I didn't do the travel. I think I did cooking at some point. It just changes around, you know.
Yeah. These are definitely like the horror section is the only one that I've had from the start. That's the one that I've started out with that I still have.
There you go.
But all the rest is shifted around.
And we see that also that that those things go up and down. They grow and they decline. I was just saying the other week, actually, take romance, for example. 10 years ago, romance section was primarily big muscular guys in kilts being swooned at by ladies.
Yeah, it was a very specific demographic, and now it's much broader and much more modern.
A need and a want for the people who liked reading that. But now it's actually, as somebody pointed out, it's hulky men in kilts being eyed at by other hulky men in kilts. It's all sorts of different styles and genres.
Yeah.
So
it's also with the mythology section, because it used to be. It's very popular now because there's a lot of like mythology retellings that are very big in just in fiction, which then leads people to the actual mythology section. So there's a lot of really cool mythology books coming out that people actually want to buy. And it used to be more almost like academic, like just a bit more stuffy. And now it's very, very hip, which is cool to see.
And I think partly that's to do with the how science fiction fantasy, for the fantasy side of it, has grown into that in the last 10 years. But indeed, that there's an interest in the where those things came from. And that's happened in the last 3-4 years, maybe. So some of the books you discussed on this program before. Yes.
On this program.
This is a program. It is not an app. It is a program.
Yeah.
So to see that how things change and to move along with that as well, how fast you can move along with that. I would imagine that I know we can move quite quickly with that. It's an evolving thing. Whereas if you're a big chain store, it works.
One of the things that's also, I think, for example, Waterstones has this like rule where every store has to have the same books on display, or like they have this book of the month situation where you have to make like a window display with a specific title. And I really like that we have the freedom to just do whatever the hell we want. Like if we're like, oh, there's this specific day coming up and we want to do a little display that sort of ties in with that, we can just choose to do that. And there's no one who can tell us, no, you can't do that, because like upstairs they're saying no, we can just do whatever we want.
The big flexibility. Well, there's actually a noise going on outside. I don't know.
No, that's my side.
Oh, it's your side. Oh,
yeah,
over there. In a couple of weeks' time, we got approached by these people who are putting together a talk, a 2-day talk for women in photography. and
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. And they came to us, and it's like, yeah, that kind of fits in, and it's in 2 weeks, so it's pretty quick. But I sent an email around to the different sections that we have, the social events, the social people, the events team I'm part of, and everyone was like, yeah, it sounds good. Give us some information and we'll pop that on social media. So also we can do things very quickly on the turn of a dime, and specifically when it floats our boat. I think it's, you know, like we follow our hearts, but then we can really like go for that. And that's very gratifying. Like you said, you don't have to go through a whole rigmarole of like, oh, is it going to be okayed by the upper management, and wait for a couple of weeks and then it's all over.
Because like, I mean, I know what I'm like, and I would not appreciate if some like corporate person who is like, maybe even in a different country, is telling me, hey, you have to put this in a display. I'd be like, you don't know what's going on here. You don't know what I do.
Exactly. And, but it's that thing of like, it's like follow your heart. You can't follow your heart. You have to do what the man says, you know?
Yeah. And the man's not even here. Like,
and you lose that connection, I think, with what you're selling. Whereas when you're actually putting something in the window or on the blog or stuff like that, that you really believe in, and you really think, oh, this is cool. And the idea, Lynn has also always had the idea that everyone has a little bit of the garden. And she says, okay, that's your section, you know, and you look after it. And it's like a two-way street, because you feel like you've got the pressure of it, but you've also, you get proud of it, you know, because you go, oh, my section's doing really good. And
if my section's doing well, or it's just looking really good, I'm like, oh, yes. Oh, look at me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm owning this.
Damn. Mighty fine bookshelf you got there.
Seriously.
It is. It's that love of it. Things like that. And especially when you get to see that people buy those books as well, you know, and you can sell them and get some more in, then you kind of go, oh, yeah, I get in the pulse.
Yeah. Even more so when you have quite small sections like I do, and there's certain regular customers who, always buy from your section. And then because I have like this one customer who's always like nosing around in like the religion section. And sometimes when I put books on my order list, I'm like, he's gonna buy that one. I know he is. Like, it gets to such a specific level where you're buying books for the store with one specific customer in mind. You know what I mean? That's you can't have that anywhere else.
No, it comes on a very specific, very connected level, community level, I guess, as well. Yeah, really is. Yeah, because it's the people that are coming in, and I suppose we've got it nice because you've got that which you can have, and then also the huge array of books that we've got for a larger public as well. So it's maybe that's part of the independent feel as well. To be able to be flexible, to also reach to the very specific persons that come in the shop regularly.
And also to be able to take a chance, right? If you see a certain book by an author that you've never heard of and you're like, I don't know, I'll give it a try. You know, we can choose to do that.
Yeah.
Which is super important for authors who maybe don't have like the huge PR team backing them up.
Indeed.
Because not everybody publishes with a huge publisher.
No, but when you get the feel of it, and it sharpens you up as well to find out what's good and what's bad, but it gives those people a chance. And we like to give the small guy or girl a chance too.
Yeah.
It's kind of following your instinct. I remember it was I have a memory of in the 90s when I first took on the game section, and not that it's a small company, but it was Games Workshop. They're kind of big English games company. And I told Lynn about it, and she said, "Oh no, that doesn't sound like what we should do." They were selling basically like tin soldiers. They're selling like for having war games and pots of paint and stuff like that. And she said, "Oh, that's too fiddly. We don't want to have all of that." But then I kind of went against her back, and I went and got one load in just to see if it would go. And just at the moment they came, I put them out. She came in just at the point when they all got sold out in like half an hour of putting them in there, because the kids
were
Games Workshop, whoa. And she saw that, and then she said, okay, you can get them in. She saw, it just works. So it's like, a real grassroots thing. Not to be advised to do every single time, but it's just, I thought, this is just going to sell so well. I could feel it in my bones, and lucky I was right, but you get that, get the chance. Sometimes you don't get the chance, you have to take it as well. But yeah, I can't see that happening in a place like Waterstones or something like that.
Speaking of
do you
another
have
book that I want to talk about?
Go on.
Yes, because the book that I just read actually started out as an independently published book. And I think we stocked it even then, but it was hugely successful, and then it got picked up by a traditional publisher.
The Atlas 6 from Olivier Blake.
Yes, it's really cool.
Yes, it's
this sort of dark academia vibe, which is very hot at the moment. I don't know why I said it like that.
There's no
very hot.
Hot.
It's reminiscent of many elements of many different stories. So I don't think there's any value in me like mentioning all of them. But it's this group of people, 6 of them, unsurprisingly, who sort of get invited to this very secretive society, magical society. And it's basically the Library of Alexandria, which has sort of been hidden in like a pocket universe, kind of. And it's very, like, they don't know a lot, but the deal that they accept is that they will study for a year, and then 5 out of the 6 of them will sort of continue and study for another year, and then they will be free to like rejoin the world. And most of the like graduates have like super high positions of power and like governments, and like it's like this almost this sort of secretive magical network that is like behind everything. So they get offered the chance to be a part of that, but also they're competing against each other because they know that only 5 will make it to the next year.
One will be eliminated. The 6 potential
exactly
initiates will fight to survive the next year.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. Whoa.
But it's really cool. It's this really because they all have like there's certain sort of basic magics that they all have. But there's also, they all have very specific talents, and basically they're all like the best at what they do. And once you put all of them together and they get to combine what they can do, they have like the power to alter the universe. It's pretty serious stuff. So it's really cool to, over the course of the story, you see them sort of in spite of themselves, starting to like what they can do with other people, even though the other people are their competitors.
Because what it's making me think of, it's kind of an interesting one, is that I mean, first of all, you've got like the Avengers films where they're all superheroes and together. But this sounds much more of a level of when you think you've got talent, the idea that actually you're better than the rest or something. It's a double-edged sword. and here you're talking about the fact that they're actually being taught how to work together, even though they've got these.
No, they're not being taught. That's kind of the point. It's not like a school. They just get put in this house together, and they have access to basically
what you said
knowledge.
In spite of themselves. They're being. I didn't mean they were being like, you have to work with each other, but they're learning. They're not being taught. They're learning. They're picking it up. They're discovering that actually even when you've got huge talents, that working together is not a bad thing.
I mean, it's a bad thing when you accidentally break the universe, which they could do. They have the power to do that. They can like alter the fabric of reality.
Indeed. If on one level, I can work with other people. On the other level, wow, what the power that it welds, it yields. What you can do, even with your single person, when they've got that much power. The likes of which we will probably never know, but when you get up there, knowing that you've got up that far and you've got that power, you kind of get to understand that you've got that power. What does that do to your brain?
It's also very interesting to see how the specific like gifts and abilities that they have influence sort of their personalities. Because like there's one person in the book who is like super, like maybe the most talented person in the history of the world in terms of magic. but she's also an anxious wreck. She's like anxiety ridden and like, but then when she gets into the flow of like, oh, I'm doing this cool new thing, she loses all of her nervous tics and like she goes into this focus, and sort of the real person comes out instead of like the sort of mask that she's gotten used to presenting to the world. But then there's also this other dude who's like super arrogant because everything has always just sort of been given to him on like a platter. And he just also happens to be super good at magic, which has only sort of strengthened his belief that he deserves the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see that the author really sort of explores that.
Yeah. It sounds like it's a book for young people. Do you think so or not?
I mean,
what was that? Was there a mouse in there? I can't even get up there. There's a very big mouse.
No, but there's it's definitely not a YA book.
Yeah, because I was thinking it sounded a bit like that, but where does it fit in? Is it science fiction fantasy then?
It's definitely fantasy. Yeah, two of the characters are slightly younger than the others, but they're like mid-20s, and the rest is a bit older.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a bit more for deep reading. I don't want to put the other stuff down, but for a different kind of where you are in life, as it were. You know, something for everyone.
Yeah.
Young adults is fine because that gives a lot of people of a younger age a lot of material to work with. But you know, there's also other stages of life when you've gotten beyond that, and you're in your 30s, maybe in 20s, 30s, 40s.
I mean, there's a lot. I think we've talked about this before. There's a lot of. I think actually the biggest sort of consumers of YA books are people in their late 20s.
Yeah, you think?
Rather than people in like their late teens, which is sort of what the stories are about.
Okay. I don't know. That's not what I see in the show.
I'm not making that up, Luke.
You just made that up. Oh, I mean, prove me. Anyway, it's interesting stuff. Yeah, you're sort of interested to read that sort of thing. I'm going to jump in and tell the good folks, because we're actually a quarter past here. We're winging away.
Well, we started a bit late.
We did indeed. But I wanted to throw in a few things that is happening at the ABC in the next month.
Oh, yeah.
If I may. Because we've been sort of waking up out of the corona slumber, like other people. We've been going through the ABC. The ABC's been working actually really hard up behind the scenes, but now we can open the doors and have stuff going on, which is nice.
Exactly.
Some of it is still online.
Like this.
Like this. Dong. Where's that kazoo where you need it?
I know.
And some of it is beginning to happen in the real world. So, for example, tomorrow, which will be Saturday the 30th of April, there is a sidewalk sale at the Hallen in Amsterdam. Ooh la la! And between 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and there's just lots of books you can find from us there. So we're out in the wild. And the Hallen is just out at the centre by the Kinkerstraat, and it's a nice new area around there. Good coffee places, and we're going to be selling books, so that's nice. ABC.
And who doesn't like books?
Who doesn't like books, eh?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And the ABC blog, which we talked about on previous episodes.
Oh yeah.
That's now out. In fact,
wow.
Let me share it with the public.
Oh my God, share it with the class.
Yes. Let's do it from how do you get to it? So here's our abc.nl page, which is all very nice and handy. I love that. abc.nl. Fantastic. And you can get to it by going home, books, magazines, events, publishing, blog. Bonk. And then you go to the blog page. There you go, ABC blog. So you can find out all about our stuff that we're writing about Bridgerton, apparently, news and trending. The 50 years of ABC, where we're just in that now. The life of a bookseller, what we do, of an independent bookseller. Some of our colleagues, kind of cool.
Yeah.
And even ABC events and book reviews and where we are.
Wow.
3 shops. Good Lord, look at that. Amsterdam, The Hague, and LEIDSCHENDAM, which is our new one. How is LEIDSCHENDAM doing? You see it, you get connected to it more than I do, I think.
Pretty good. I mean, usually I'm there every week, but I wasn't there this week because it was King's Day, so I feel like I haven't been there for ages. It's not true.
No.
But yeah, it's nice that now that we're just open, like we can just be open there.
Right.
Because obviously when we started there, it was in the middle of a pandemic and there was like people had to make an appointment. And so we haven't, even though the store is now recently turned 1 year old, we haven't had a full year of like normal book selling there. So there's a lot that we don't know what like the baseline is. And we're now sort of discovering that. And it's actually quite fun.
Cool. No, nice. Yeah. So that's in the Westfield Mall, which is the first. It's the biggest mall in Holland. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know. It's supposed to be like super deluxe. So go check it out. Westfield.
It's real fancy.
Of the Netherlands. And if you go on Thursday, you can meet and greet with Iris.
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes, exactly. So there you go. So that's our ABC blog. One thing I'll point out, when you search, don't think you're going to find books, because I did that and I made a mistake. So it's only going to search everything that's on the blog. So if you want to go to search a book, then you have to go back to the abc.nl site and go search for a book there.
Yeah, because it says book search instead of just
book search.
search.
So you know. So you do.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But I think most of the articles on the blog that talk about a specific book will contain a link to the book.
I believe it will.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Yeah. Books by movies, Bridgerton, probably something like that here. Show us some books. Yeah.
Yeah, see, the Viscount Who Loved Me.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Whoa, she's right. Classic.
I am.
The goats putting these great things together. There you go. So there you go. I'm going to come back to us. Yeah, there you go. That's our new blog site.
Look at that.
It looks lovely, doesn't it?
It
and then for the rest of the month, we've got next Friday, we've got the open mic night, which
yeah,
happen to do that. That's great. You should come along and shake some things and
play some kazoo.
Yeah, play some kazoo. Yeah, you'll definitely get some. But it's lovely because the difference between being online doing that is that people will give you instant feedback, because you'll play it and they'll clap and they'll go, "Oh, I like that. I like the color of that kazoo."
Yeah, I'm sure they'll say that.
I would definitely go and say that. Thanks. If it was a nice color, not just
regular kazoo color.
But it's not something that happens normally when we do it in the open mic in the shop, which we have done. We will be going back to that in September. Usually you clap and somebody else goes up, and then at the end of the evening, people get to talk with each other. But here, people talk with each other sort of in between when they feel like they want to say something about it, and it creates great discussions with all of the participants and people who just come and watch as well. So that's great.
Pretty cool.
I would say, please come along. You'll find the connection on the event page by the abc.nl, or you'll find us also on Meetup. So you can find the ABC online at Meetup. Woo. And then one more, and then we'll have another book, I think. We've got, the week after, the Saturday after that, next week, Saturday, the 7th of May, is Free Comic Store Day. Gosh. Yes.
We do need some sound effects.
We need sound effects.
Man.
So we're giving away free comics there. Not all of the comics are free, of course, but there are specific ones that we're giving away for free on the store day, just to enjoy that.
Yay.
So there.
Yeah. Look at us.
Have you got anything else?
Free comics. Man.
Free comics, mate.
Yeah, I got really nice ones last year. I hope there's a good selection this year.
I haven't seen them yet.
No, neither have I.
In soon, but I haven't seen them, so I can't say. And besides, actually, there's one more, I'll say, and that's the book chats that we do online as well. And that's going to be Friday, May the 20th. and they're talking. They're going to be
Feels real far away though.
The Humans by Matt Haig. It's a new book by Matt Haig.
Is it new?
Yeah, because he's Matt Haig. What are you famous for? He had his first book out, The Midnight Library.
That's not his first book though.
Is that not his first book?
No.
I stand
I'm
corrected.
pretty sure he's written a ton of books. Let me pull up fantastic fiction.
Come on. Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Actually, fantastic fiction.
Matt Haig.
Fantastic fiction.
No, he's written a ton of books, Luke.
God. Well, he's very, very famous for the one book.
Okay, but The Humans came out in 2013.
No.
Yes.
Well, he's written.
I shit thee not. Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just. I'm going to share the screen because fantastic fiction is a tremendous website that we discovered, I think, about 15 years ago in the ABC, maybe even longer, and we've been using it ever since. Because what you do is you do Matt Haig, and you see and finds him, and then you see what he looks like, which is a bit scary. And
yeah, I think that's quite an old photo, though.
Yeah, 75. He'd be about like 45. I don't know, a young 45. Pretty stern looking, anyway.
Anyway.
The Comfort Book and the House Called Mika. Okay, so it shows you all the new stuff, and it shows all the stuff he's written.
Yeah, I use it mostly in the store when people are like, "Oh, is this the first part of the series?" I'll just pull up Fantastic Fiction because they do both the series and the standalones, which is great.
Like in this one, you've got the Shadow Forest and
exactly.
And you can see he's been writing actually children's stories, which I didn't actually realize.
Well, there you go. Every day's a school day, Luke.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. But the Midnight Library is the one that we've been selling.
Yeah, it's an ABC favorite.
Yeah, and then but I was talking about some maybe I think I've got confused again. This can happen also with independent bookstore sellers that they get confused. And
sometimes we're real dumb.
Yep. We'll just admit it because that's the way we are.
Yeah.
I'm real dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. So Matt Haig, I don't know how we got onto him, but oh yes, because they're reading The Humans. That's why.
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go. So that's kind of what's happening in Maytime at the ABC, at the House of ABC. One more book, or do you just say like, nah?
Yes, actually. This one that I just started. I don't think it's a very new book. It's a graphic novel. I don't want to give you a sample that is too far in because then it'll be a spoiler for me. Look how cute it is.
Cutesy.
Isn't it adorable? Because I with two of my friends, I'm in this like witchy book club where we read witchy fiction, which is fun to say.
Fiction, okay.
Witchy fiction. And this is the one this is our most recent pick, Tide Song, because we like to mix it up in terms of genre, because there's lots of things that you could label as witchy in all sorts of different because like there's general fiction, there's obviously sci-fi and fantasy, and then this is a graphic novel, there's children's books, so it's nice to like mix it up. Maybe one day we'll read some witchy nonfiction, who knows? I don't.
You crazy woman. Yeah,
I know.
Oh.
No, so it's nice to I really think it's nice to there it is to read across different genres, and then we talk about sort of how witchiness works in the universe that the book is set in, because sometimes it's very like traditional old hags, and then sometimes, like recently we read a book that was sort of historical fiction, and it wasn't really even clear whether there was a witch or not, or whether it was just like townsfolk spreading gossip.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's like there's so many different ways to deal with it, and that's just really fun.
Yeah. Because I mean, witch, it's kind of owning the name, isn't it, a bit? Because I'm thinking like which I don't know about originally, but anyway, witch can be very denigrate.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And by owning it and taking it on, going, yes, I'm a witch. Yeah, deal with it, baby. You know, it's one of those things. It's like the W word. You know, I can't say it, but you can. Yeah, the different versions of it. Yeah. Okay, so this is. It looks like a young little lady witch stuff going on.
Yeah, so it's this 12-year-old kid who comes from a magic family, and her parents really want her to go to this like very prestigious academy, but she's not like great at magic, so they send her to some relatives for like a year to like study from them. But then she goes there and she's basically just being used to do chores. And that's where I am now. I don't know how it's gonna end because I'm still reading it.
It sounds a bit Cinderella-like, so who knows?
I mean, in very broad terms, but it's not. I don't think that's where it's actually going to go.
Well, the thing is also, I mean, it's like little, you know, signposts of, because I know, you know, there's so many stories now that you can take from, but it's the blending of them and seeing what they do with it and how they tell the story. So, yeah, okay, interesting. Little witchy graphic novel.
Little witchy.
Nice. Hey, Luigi, the wicked Luigi.
Oh, no.
I think it's a time where we stop, because when a Luigi turns up, I don't know, I think it's over. Huh?
I think it's already too late.
He's a great lovely guy. I like him.
Oh my God, please stop.
He comes out once in a while. I don't know why. Okay, so Luigi has told us it's time to go. Is there anything else that we want to touch on before we say goodbye? Au revoir.
Please buy your books from independent bookstores because they are the bomb.
Independent bookstore.
Woo!
It's an independent bookstore day. Right, yeah.
Okay.
A quick independent bookstore day song.
Yeah. Little riff for you.
Yeah, a little riff. I just threw that out for you. Maybe put that in a bit more often. So next time we're going to be on the Friday, the 27th of May, with our final of the series. Will they make it? Will the star picks
It's
happen?
doubtful.
Will they find a summer reading that they will want to actually read in the summer? That's the next episode, summer reading.
Yeah.
What can you pick out? And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a couple of our other celeb co-workers come and join us with their tidbits and suggestions and other things for your summer reading, or when you go on holiday.
Just to be clear, we know that May is not actually summer, but because it's the last episode of the season before the actual summer, we thought it would be fitting.
We thought we'd give you a bit of a heads up. Yeah,
because then you still have some time to buy the books before the summer starts, you know?
There you go.
Got to plan ahead.
We're clever like that. So there you go. We will see.
We have our moments.
Yes. There's one little bit of it. But Luigi says it's okay. All right. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
No, bye.